This is the Boat Inn in Jackfield in Ironbridge. This property we visited in one of my first pub episodes in the early days of the pub series. This pub has been flooded multiple times by the River Severn and would have served the factory of the Jackfield Tile Company, which is just behind these trees. It's said to have been here since roughly 1740. So you can imagine how many workers this property served. A genuine working class establishment for the gritty end of the factory worker, and it saw the raw end of that. Something beautiful that I love on this pub, which is going to help me make my next point, is it actually says there, unspoilt by progress. Now that helps lead me on to my next point, because anyone that's watched anything of mine recently will know that I love the word progress. Progress for the sake of progress is in fact destruction. I made a video on this recently that I can make here as well as when I was in Castleton in Derbyshire, which is there's preservation orders in locations such as this, which keep it safe. For instance, not long ago, I don't know if it's still the policy, you couldn't even get a broadband cable in some of these houses because they refused to dig up the roads. Never mind stick a modernistic office block, just anywhere you like. And this brings me back to the point I made in Derbyshire, which is the whole country could look fantastic and cultural if only we actually backed up these preservation orders elsewhere, instead of allowing modernistic capitalism to destroy not just our beauty and architecture, but culture itself. Now, before we go anywhere, we're going to go up to the door and have a look at the dates on the door, which I did last time I was here. And last time I was here, I got a really kind tour from the publican, the landlord, who told me all about the floods, how they had to, basically this place has been flooded several times, lots of times, and they have to, fit it out over and over again. And now it's been built in a way that if it does flood again, they'll be ready for it. But come with me and have a look at this door. Now the highest level was not that long ago, as we can see, in 2000, and that really flooded the place out. And you can see that level. You can imagine that's the whole ground floor. And if they have a cellar, that would have been flooded as well. They obviously do have a cellar. That would have been flooded as well. If you can imagine from here all the way across there, if you turn around, you can actually see where the River Severn is. You can imagine the level of the river and the height of it. The catchphrase that he's put on it really has summarised it for me. It has been unspoilt by progress. And as I say again, progress for the sake of progress, as opposed to necessary progress, is in fact cultural destruction. And I love the Boat Inn, and it'll always be a great memory for me from the early days of the pub series. I'm very happy to be back here. So this is the charming landlord that gave me a tour last time I was here and explained everything and how hard it must have been, well, how hard it was to put up with the fact that it floods.
That's right.
Which, I mean, you said there was a flood since I've...
Yeah, so there was the pub had just recovered from the flood when we moved in,
Yeah.
and we've had one since then. That was January this year.
How bad was it?
Just above the windowsill, which is bad enough.
Yeah.
But we made light hard of it. We had river dance
River dance.
inside the pub, which was good.
That's fantastic. And is your custom okay? Is it keeping up?
It's good. We've captured a lot of locals who have embraced the community pub that we've created.
Yeah.
And so we're doing really well, all things considered.
I was just commenting on the lovely phrase on the pub, which is unspoilt by progress.
Correct.
Which I share that sentiment of why ruin something which is already perfect as it is.
Correct. I totally agree with
As opposed to sticking a glass structure on it or something like that. And
we must keep with tradition. The pub is here. It's how it was years ago, and it will continue to be so. Yeah. But it's part of the community.
That's
and
fantastic.
That's what it is. And visitors love it. They love the history of it. The floods, well, it is what it is. So, but
It always meant a lot to me because it was one of my first episodes. You were so kind, and the Morris dancers were a lot for me. Coming from London, seeing them, it really encapsulated where I was, and it was beautiful.
On the back of that, we had 3 more visits by Morris dancers from around the country who came and came and played at our pub.
On the back of that?
Yeah, on the back of that. And we've had belly dancers and various other
belly
people.
dancers.
Yes,
you say?
we've had belly dancers on 2 occasions.
We got conned.
The whole place embraces people.
Yeah.
So, and this is lovely.
What was it you said about gin?
Tiger Gin is the Shropshire Gin Company, and he's made the boat in the home of Tiger Gin.
Right.
Not only does he drink here, but because it's made locally, and he's a local boy, and it's won major awards around the world, we're proud to sell Tiger Gin.
Fantastic. And you've got great taps as well.
Yep.
Really good taps.
Yep.
It's a bit out there, isn't it? I mean, it's a little bit in the sticks.
It is. Thankfully, people know us, and because they enjoy it so much, that's why they keep coming.
Well, don't tell anyone, but it's my favourite pub.
Oh,
in
thank
Ireland.
you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so
Sure
much
you
for our tour last time. You were an absolute gent.
No, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to everybody who comes to the boating.
Well, we'll do our best to advertise in the future as well.
Thank you very much.
So we're just getting a nice little look at the back room before we turn around and leave and look at the lovely brickwork. This was the tour we had last time.
Yeah, it's having a refurb.
It's still lovely.
So yeah, we're trying to get a bit of the dampness out of the room, and hence.
Oh right, of course. Is that what the?
That's what. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why it is.
I love the beams, and like last time, I have to mention the fireplace. Come in here for me, please, cameraman. I love the fireplace. And the images up here of the pub. What do you, I mean, do you ever sleep upstairs?
Yeah,
or you do, yeah. So at any time you could come downstairs and you're trapped.
In what way?
By water.
Oh yeah. But we've got our escape route is at the back.
Do you have a sort of inflatable dinghy or something? In case.
There is, funny enough, there is a canoe behind the shed we got use of, but no, we can get out of it. Thankfully, we've got a wonderful neighbour behind us, James and Pauline, and we can go through their gardens and get out. So yeah, we never get trapped.
Right, if we're ever near too late, James and Pauline, we'll need your help. So let's just have a look at the lovely brickwork you see at the back there, because last time it was packed out with dancers, so we couldn't quite see
that's right.
how magnificent it was. If you can get this, worst flood for 54 years. Look at that.
Hello. Hi, Beth. Hi.
I know pubs that are 10 times the size of this with nowhere near the charm. You see up here more pictures of the pub when it was underwater years ago. I hope that comes out on the camera. All down here. That's 1890. Absolutely first class. I better just thank the landlord before we go. One sec. Thank you again, sir. You take care.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you soon.
You will do. All the best.